Greetings, citizens of Nerdtropolis. Sean Taj here, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and on this episode of Real Insights, my guest is Rory Culkin, who stars in 5 Pounds of Pressure. Hey, Rory, it's great to finally meet you, man.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
I've been a big fan of your work since you started at such a young age, and recently I had the pleasure of meeting your brother Kieran, actually, at the Critics' Choice Awards. So this interview is a cinematic bucket list for me to be talking to you today about 5 Pounds of Pressure.
Nice.
And also, a fun fact, we were born actually just 10 days apart. I am an 89 baby, born on July 11th. So just a little fun fact for you, that 89 babies rock.
Yeah, we experienced the 80s.
A little bit. I actually love the 80s, even though I experienced the 90s. I have some weird passion for 80s music. I don't know how about you, but for some reason, that's the soundtrack that I love for my life is the 80s music.
You like some synth?
Oh, yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, synth. Yeah, oh, yeah. Give me all of that.
Yeah.
As the mayor of Nerdtropolis, first off, I must know, what do you nerd out about, Rory?
What do I nerd out about? I'm a big sci-fi guy. I guess that's pretty nerdy, huh?
Yeah, a lot of great sci-fi films over the years. I really enjoyed your performance, though, in 5 Pounds of Pressure, which is now in theaters, on digital, and on demand. What drew you to this film and to the role?
What drew me to 5 Pounds of Pressure was, I guess, the character of Mike. He's just sort of this tragic figure, and I met with Phil Loco, the writer director here in Brooklyn, and to realize that it's semi-autobiographical just like put some weight behind it. And I just kind of like seeing this character just get put through it and not handle it very well. He thinks he's taking charge of his life, and he's really just like digging himself in a deeper hole the whole time. And I thought that was interesting, and I was excited to sort of get on the ground and put on the stupid hat and see what happens.
I love your character of Mike and just following his journey. And, there's a lot of moments where you just feel for him and everyone else. I feel like in this film, everyone's like put in just bad situations and really are trying to look out for themselves and their loved ones. How did your look for character come about? Because I was digging your ensemble when you got introduced, and all of a sudden there's a joke in the film. It says, "Why you got to dress like that?" And I was like, man, he actually looks really cool. I actually dig that style. Can you talk about the look for this film?
Yeah. It was written that he's wearing a leather cowboy hat and leather pants, leather jackets. And I was wondering why when I first read it. And when I sat down with Phil, he was open to something different. He just wanted this guy to stick out like a sore thumb in a world where he shouldn't, where he should be trying to blend. He's selling huge amounts of drugs. He should sort of keep his head down. And instead, he's the one that sticks out, that everyone's going to look at that guy because he looks kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I kind of like that. And I remember thinking like, oh, this might be embarrassing. Cool. Like, all right, let's see what that feels like. And when I first got to set and I put on the wardrobe, I looked in the mirror and just thought, you are pathetic. Look at you. You think you look good. And he just gets abused throughout, like right off the bat, they say he's a rodeo clown, and he's in a Halloween costume, and so he gets verbally abused and then eventually physically abused. And I just thought this is a poor bastard that I would like to play.
To be honest, I might have different tastes. I actually dig the outfit. You pulled it off pretty good. Like, I actually really thought it was really cool.
Well, so did Phil. So did the director. I remember when I first got to set wearing it, I was like, "What a poor bastard, huh?" He's like, "What do you mean? I think you look cool." I was like, "Oh, Phil thinks this is cool. Okay, that's cool. All right, we don't have to agree on that. I think it's cool too now." So yeah.
This film delves into complexities of family, loyalty, and consequences of past actions. What do you hope audiences take away from these themes after watching 5 Pounds of Pressure?
I don't know what I hope they take away, but I think it's about making bad decisions and trying to dig yourself out of that. Like the character of Adam, Luke Evans' character, he made a bad decision years earlier and it put him in prison, and now he's trying to redeem himself. And there's a character, Mike, who's just making bad decision after bad decision, and maybe doesn't get a chance to redeem himself. It's messed up.
Yeah, what a great cast in this film. Any memorable moments from the set, and how was it working with Alex Pettyfer, first of all, and Luke Evans?
Yeah, they're great. I mean, they're such pros. They've been doing it for such a long time, and Alex and I have been doing it since we were kids. And you can feel that on set. You can feel when someone's been doing it for a long time. It's hard to explain, but it sort of seems effortless. But then there's all these other great actors, like Lorraine Burroughs, who plays Jamal, James Oliver Wheatley. Yeah, there's all these great scene partners. Gary McDonald, who played ER, he was amazing. He's the guy at the strip club, the sort of the kingpin. He was fascinating to work with because he was so hard to read, and I never knew what he was going to do. He'd be really aggressive in one take, and then the next take he was just totally calm and forgiving, and would start laughing at me, and it was just fun to play off of that. He starts laughing, so I start laughing too, and now we're all laughing. And the scene, we weren't supposed to laugh in the scene, but now we're all laughing, and then I realize, they're going to hurt me, and the laughter becomes crying, but he's still laughing because you got to keep up the look. So yeah, it was a lot of fun playing with these actors.
Yeah, you're right. His character is actually really cool. I liked it, very intense. I actually would like to see a film about his character. It's a really cool character in this film, and I feel like there's a whole subplot right there sitting there.
Just cutting eyes open, just like a modern pirate or something. Yeah, that guy rules.
Yeah, you said it. Your character is getting beat up a lot. What's the trick of selling a big smack from Luke Evans?
It's years of watching professional wrestling as a child. Watching those guys take bumps. It's usually, I do like kind of pride myself when because I get beaten up a lot on camera. It's just for some reason I play characters that get their ass kicked. And it's usually, stunt people are usually like pleasantly surprised that I could take the bump and they didn't have to, give me too much instruction. So oddly, a source of pride for me is my ability to get my ass kicked.
We gotta get you in some type of wrestling film then.
I'd love that. Yeah, yeah.
You mentioned sci-fi is your favorite genre, so I have to ask about one of your earliest works of Signs, which is actually one of my favorite M. Night Shyamalan films. Watched it when it first came out. The whole theater was like tense, and then the scene where the alien just walks by, everyone was like screaming. I don't know why that scene is so like crafted perfectly. But what's your fondest memory from that film?
Yeah, that's a great scene. I guess just working with Joaquin Phoenix and Mel Gibson and Abigail Breslin. Yeah, that was intense because I had like the asthma attack, and that was a really intense experience for me. Now I've played a lot of characters that have died. I think I've died like 16 times on camera or something. Who's counting? But that was, I was whatever 10, 11 years old, and just sort of for the first time put myself there of like, oh, this is someone who's like, maybe this is the last thing you ever see is your dad holding you, panicking. It's strange as a kid to sort of put yourself there. And so, yeah, it was an intense experience, but such a cool movie. I got to revisit it. And I was just talking to someone a couple of weeks ago about, they had a theory that it's not about aliens, but about demons, that they're not aliens. They came from the underworld. I was like, oh man, I got to rewatch that. If that has any legs, that's a cool theory. So, yeah, I don't know. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. What do you call M. Night and see like what was he really thinking of? Because he has all these awesome twists and just stuff he doesn't really tell the audience of what he really means in most of these scenes. That's how brilliant he is. But everyone I talk to, Signs is like one of their favorite movies. Is one of mine. And that scene, it's just haunting in my brain. If like maybe that's how we're gonna see aliens one day, just walking by. We're at the grocery store, and all of a sudden you look outside, and something just walks by the glass.
Well, that's the thing too. Everyone's like, well, if aliens existed, we all have cameras now. Why aren't we capturing them? Well, maybe we are, and no one believes it. You know what I mean? Like, if you saw an iPhone video of an alien, you would think it's fake. Like, there's no convincing. It's Jesus could walk among us, and we wouldn't believe it was Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, the aliens could be right in front of us, and well, that's Photoshop. You can't fool me. So yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting. And I remember working on Signs. I remember talking to M. Night on set and referring to the alien as he. I kept saying he, and he goes, it's she. Why do you keep insisting it's a guy? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it was just a fun experience for a 10, 11-year-old that ruled.
Yeah, and it scared me as a like 11, 12-year-old at the time when it came out.
Yeah, yeah.
That movie at the time was the number one like bootleg film in Iran. When I visited Iran that year, I went there. They're like that was like the number one film everyone was watching and bootlegging. I mean, that's how it is over there, obviously, in that country.
It's so cool.
But it was such a popular film. All my cousins were like, "Have you seen this one?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw it in theaters. It's scary." They're like, "We love it. This is amazing."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great film. Lastly, I have to ask about you being part of the Scream franchise and the experience with working with the late Wes Craven.
Yeah, yeah. Wes was such a good guy. He was like very soft spoken. I think people were sort of intimidated by him because he's Wes Craven, but if you do approach him and just ask how he's doing, he would just open up so easily. And he was such a pleasant guy, and there didn't seem to be any ego there. And I think he came from editing. I think he was an editor first. It's always interesting, like what field directors come from. Like Joel Schumacher, who I worked with, he was in costumes first. And it's just so cool to see how that like translates. That you could see Wes editing in his head in real time, and yeah, he was so lovely, and it was it's an honor to be able to work with him and work on his last film. I have my Scream mask over there that he signed for me, the forehead Wes Craven. It's framed. Yeah, it's just like that's going in my personal museum one day.
That's super cool. I actually paused Scream 4 halfway before we jumped on here because I was watching it earlier. I was like, I'm gonna watch it today. It's the best day to watch it, and I'm just enjoying it. Such great. Like everyone's in this movie. It's wild. The cast list, including you, is wild. And I forgot how many young stars like yourself are in here and that are just blown up. It's amazing.
Yeah, I was in the Arctic in Norway a couple of weeks ago at a tattoo shop with my girlfriend. She was getting a tattoo, and I think some of the workers there recognized me. And then when we were leaving, they were watching Scream 4, and it was at the point right when I stabbed Hayden, and on my way out, I went, "Oh yeah." They all like looked up. It was like, good, right? And like, yeah, good job, good work. Thanks. So yeah, it's every corner of the world there's a Scream fan. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, every corner of the world also is a Rory fan. Just to let you know, everyone loves everything that you do.
Thanks, man.
This was great, Rory. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to your future projects and chatting again soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. It's great to talk to you.
Once again, this is Sean Taj, the mayor of Nerdtropolis, and stay tuned for more movie news, reviews, interviews, and trailers.